Hey everyone, this is Bailey from the EMH, and I'm back with Never Forget Math Lessons number 5. 10x and 100x gains. What? All right, elephant money, huh? All right, let's check it out, guys. Some quotes of the day. All right, so bank teller was must have been feeling good today. He was in the Telegram dropping some fire on us. I'm going to share just a couple of the things that he was talking about today. He said, "It is exciting to see the herd rowing in the same direction. We are attacking this second parabola in an entirely different way than the first, which is leading towards massive upside for long-term elephant holders." All right. So pretty amazing stuff, guys. So if you didn't know, we are now 100 million market cap for the elephant.money protocol. And we are in the parabola, guys, which means that we are going to be experiencing this rapid price appreciation and explosion of the elephant token, which is the whole kind of juice, the fuel to the economic engine that is Bertha, the elephant treasury. And we're in the process of regrowing and recovering her back to her glory days of old in that first parabola. Now, guys, what's really cool is as we just keep buying and removing those tokens out of the liquidity pools, you can kind of see the arbitrage system at play. And this is kind of what Bank Teller is talking about, where when we do the buy with Bertha, you put in your BNB and the system will automatically choose the best price for you, the investor. So sometimes they'll buy from the it will buy from the BNB liquidity pool. Sometimes it will buy from the BUSD liquidity pool. It all depends on what price for the elephant token is lowest. What's awesome about that, guys, is it's really building price stability in both of those liquidity pools. It's keeping them close in value. So outside arbitrage opportunities can't take advantage of gaining value from the protocol and extracting it. The value stays with the community, all right, with the herd. And also what's really cool is since we're always getting the cheaper deal, we're being able to pull out more tokens from those liquidity pools. Okay, so it's very efficient the way we are doing it. Okay, so it's amazing stuff. All right, what else is he talking about here? All right, ooh, this is a good one. All right, there are no investors here. This isn't an investment as much as it is an on-chain economic experiment. You are all participants in that experiment, members of the herd. There are no guarantees, and we aren't owed anything outside of what the contracts provide. We can work together to make the contracts work for us. That's it. The easiest thing you can do to help is grow the herd. At today's size, we are a $1 billion centralized community. At scale, we change the very fabric of economics. This is not an investment. It is world changing. All right. And whew, all right. Yes. So that's kind of one of the reasons I think, everybody that's in the community is so passionate about the project. We know that it's going to make a lot of money, obviously. And I think, we all think we're going to do very well with it, but it definitely has a a really big impact for the better. That's going to happen for the world, in my opinion. So it's really something special. And so super, super excited. Wait a minute, Bailey, you just said something about we just hit a $100 million market cap. BT's talking that we're a $1 billion decentralized community. All right, 100 million times 10 is a billion. Oh, so he's thinking, hey, we can 10x just with our current community as is if we just keep plodding along and sticking to the game plan. We'll check that out, guys. All right. Oh, and then another little tidbit down here. We need 180 million in LP injection for a 100x. What? 100x? 100 times the amount of money? That's insane. This is without BNB doing anything. Okay, so staying relatively at the same price. 180 million is not a lot of money. Okay, yeah, it's chump change, right, guys? Well, when you work for a big, huge institutional, financial institutions like Fidelity and stuff, and you're in the finances for so long, yeah, I mean, I'm sure it's not, in the grand scheme of things, it's probably not that much. If you look at like market caps of other, coins and things like that on the Ethereum network and everything. He says, do you know how many high net worth individuals around the world, people who make over 30 million a year? That's who is coming in after you. Okay, so guys, we are kind of the grassroots effort of the community that we're building this thing. We're going to try to bring it up to prosper. And then we might get noticed. And then, some of the bigger money could potentially start flocking in, and sky's the limit, right? All right. So BT's dropping a lot of crazy stuff today in the Telegram. Must be feeling a little good, so awesome stuff. All right. All right. So guys, we're going to be doing some math today. All right. So math lesson number 5. We're going to be taking a look at this 10x, 100x. When 10x, when 100x, like let's go. Let's try to figure this out. All right. Now, before we begin, guys, I just want to say I'm a chump on the internet. Okay. I'm just kind of winging it here. I don't really know what I'm talking about. Just, fake it till you make it, right? So this obviously is not financial advice. All right. You always do your own research. Why are you listening to somebody on YouTube? I mean, come on. All right. So, all right. With that said, let's begin class, guys. All right. All right, so guys, just a little bit of a refresher of a couple of key concepts and ideas you want to keep in the back of your noggin for when we start to make these predictions. We're going to try to see if we can kind of get close to that like 180 million mark that BT is calling out for a 100x. Like, where does that come from, guys? Where does that stuff come from? So, in our lesson today, guys, we're going to try to just build our comfort level and our understanding a little bit more behind like how these prices actually exist and behind that constant product formula thing that, I started mentioning in math lessons 3 and 4. Check them out if you haven't. All right. But first, guys, some of the basics, the fundamentals. How am I going to find the price of a token? Okay. All right, so guys, we have our liquidity pools. We have 2 of them for Elephant token. All right, we have our BNB liquidity pool, and here's where it stands right now at the time of this recording. All right, we have 117 trillion Elephant token in that pool, and we have close to 42,000 BNB. All right, a little shy of that in that pool right now. All right, and how liquidity's pool works, guys, is that the value is distributed 50-50. So the value of that BNB is worth the same as the value of those tokens. All right. So what's awesome is as the BNB goes up and the tokens go down, but those prices are equal. All right. So less and less tokens are worth more and more BNB, and that's our supply shock parabolic price action. Okay. All right. So how do we get the ticker symbol? How do we get the price of an Elephant token for this current liquidity pool? Okay, so guys, so I pulled 10 cents per million. Okay, we have killed a 0. There's gonna be lots of zeros that are gonna be kind of slayed and killed right now. All right. So right now, guys, if you read the ticker symbol, we have 0.0, and there's actually going to be 6 zeros in front of our 1. And that's going to represent, guys, that we have basically 10 cents per million. And let's kind of see where that comes from. Okay. So when we have our liquidity pool, okay, we have our BNB, and what we want to do is figure out the actual value of that BNB. And that's going to be in our like USDC or whatever currency that you're looking at. Okay, so it's just the BNB times whatever the price is, okay? Now, BT might have used that 180 million mark with a slightly different price than we're going to go with here, just because it does change and fluctuate throughout the day, okay? BNB is one of those volatile assets. It's not like a stable coin. You can see on even in like an average trading day, a plus or minus like 5% on the value of these things, you know? So, so what we're going to do is pull this price right here at the time, and this is from Bogged Finance, which is one of the partners that are listed on the fresh new landing page of the elephant.money protocol. Okay, pretty good stuff right there. And so what we're going to do, guys, is we're going to take the BNB that's actually in the liquidity pool and multiply it by the current going rate of this BNB, and we're then going to divide that amount by the elephant tokens pooled, okay? So we're getting price, and then per you can think of as a rate or division, and then elephant token, price per token for elephant, all right? So elephant's gonna always go in that denominator at the bottom there, okay? And if we do that, guys, we get this crazy little number here that's written in scientific notation, okay? And what this means, guys, is -7th power means it's a very tiny decimal. And what you can do is you can move this decimal point, 7 places to the left, all right? Left, because you want to make it a tiny decimal. And what that's going to do is you're going to swing by this 1, and then you have 6 more places to move. So this is going to represent our 6 zeros that are in front of that 1, okay? And if you do that here, okay, I showed you guys that we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 zeros, okay? And then we have our 1.00, and there's some extra on our calculator. Notice on Bogged Finance, guys, that they don't have like so many digits on there, okay? So we're at right now, guys, if we multiply that by 1 million, which is 6 zeros right here, we're going to have about 10 cents, or sorry, yeah, it's going to be 10 cents per million elephant token, all right? And so generally, guys, a lot of times when we're talking about the price of elephant, we talked about per million tokens because there's so many of them. And once you get to per million, the quantities make just a little more sense, or a little more friendlier than, you know, talking about 100,000ths of a penny for 1 token and stuff, you know. All right, so that's how you get that ticker symbol, and that's how you calculate the value of your tokens in the liquidity pool. All right. Now, guys, we have 2 liquidity pools, so we're going to do that exercise one more time to review. And this one right here is for the elephant and the BUSD liquidity pool. Okay, so right now, currently, we have a little under, let's say, 86 trillion elephant token in that liquidity pool. And we have, you know, $8.6 million worth of BUSD, which is that stable coin. That's the $1 backed stable coin. Okay, so we can do the same exercise here, where we're looking for price per elephant. Okay, so I'm going to have the price, or the value, divided by the number of elephant tokens. All right, so we're going to have our BUSD pooled just divided by the elephant pooled. Okay, notice here I don't have like a price. I could put times $1, okay, but it doesn't really change the value at all. All right, that's that multiplicative identity property that I'm sure everyone remembers from like 8th grade. Nerd. All right, so guys, here we go. So we have our BUSD value, which is our 8.6 million per, or divided by the number of elephant tokens in there. And again, guys, we get that kind of sketchy, weird looking number. All right, we move that decimal point over 7 places, so that creates 6 zeros in front of this 1. Okay, and it's roughly about the same price currently, and you can see that Bogged Finance, it's about that same price currently as the other liquidity pool. And that's that strategy of taking our time and slowly buying from both liquidity pools, keeping those prices balanced and always buying the cheapest token, getting those tokens out of those liquidity pools at the best price possible. Okay, awesome, awesome move. All right. And again, guys, so we're at 10 cents right now per million elephant token in both of these liquidity pools. All right. All right, Bailey. Okay. When 10x, man, like, I want my profits, man, when 10x. Okay. So let's figure this out, guys. All right. And we are going to consult the graphing calculator for this. All right. And the first one we're going to take a look at is the BNB liquidity pool. All right. And if you're just tuning into like this, this lesson, this might be a little mind-blowing because a lot of math is, there's a progression to it and it's foundational. So check out videos 3 or 4 if you want to learn more about like the constant product formula curve. But we're going to be kind of jumping in and just talking about it. It's basically it's how the values relate to one another in liquidity pools. And what makes the elephant.money protocol special is it's using protocol-owned liquidity strategies like the graveyard and then the elephant treasury that actually acts as a large investor. And what happens is we're actually being able to mathematically manipulate this constant product formula curve to create tremendous value. It's revolutionary, okay, to say the least. All right. Most protocols don't get down this curve because there's buying and selling, and we're just going to see that there's such a huge buy pressure, and those tokens are not going to be going back into liquidity pool. They're going to be locked up by the protocol. So it's so good. Okay. So anyways, guys, so we have this constant product formula. So I'll just give you a sneak peek of it right here. All right, and that's that x times y equals k. And k is just a static number that's used for the formula, okay? And the way you can get it is you just take your 2 tokens and you can multiply them together. So right now, all right, in this liquidity pool for the BNB, we have that 41,700 BNB, and we have about that 117 trillion elephant token. Okay, multiply them, and then we graph this equation right here, and that creates our constant product formula graph. Okay, so that is every combination of elephant token and BNB that would fit this particular liquidity pool. If transactions happened, you would always find the resulting amount in one of these combinations right here. Okay, so we're going to be able to use that. It's kind of like a little Karnak the Magnificent, we're trying to figure out, all these mysteries, and we're going to be able to project and use this model to, kind of get some ideas of, kind of upcoming values that we could expect to see. All right. Again, guys, this is not going to be perfect because we're kind of keeping the BNB at like a relatively steady value, which we know, goes up and down, but it gives you like a ballpark idea. Like, because some people are like, 10x, is it happening this weekend? Like you'll be able to see that's probably not this weekend, so you'll get like an idea, but it's actually all going to be related to not time, but like volume, volume of buys and how much is going to be coming into the system. All right, so guys, right now we're at this point in our constant product formula in the liquidity pool. Okay, now right now we're just kind of keeping the BNB price steady. So it was just a shade under 282 when I started constructing this this little presentation for you guys, and our current price was those 6 zeros, okay, in front of that 1, okay, and if we get rid of those 6 zeros multiplied by a million, that puts us at 0.1 or 0.10 or 10 cents per million. Okay, all right, so let's do it, guys. All right, times 10. When is this happening? Okay, so if you take a look, so I've opened this up. So If we want 10 times the value, we want to kill a zero, okay? We don't want 6 zeros in front of that 1. We only want 5 zeros in front of that 1, okay? Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 zeros in front of that 1, okay? And when we multiply by 1,000,000, which is 6 zeros, that's going to then bring that decimal point right behind the 1, okay? So instead of 10 cents per million, if we 10x, we will have $1 per million elephant token. All right, pretty sweet, okay? Now, just to review, let's go back to how we did that liquidity pool thing, right? Okay, how do you figure out the price per token, okay? Well, you take the BNB times the BNB price, okay, that gives you that USD value per elephant, divide by elephant, and you get price per elephant. And that's what we reviewed when we took a look at those values on the ticker symbols, okay, and in the liquidity pools. Like that's how you get them, okay, right here, okay, in that formula. All right, so what we're going to do, guys, is we're actually going to graph that formula. But this time, instead of putting in, okay, B and B, we put in X, okay? B and B is on the X axis. So X times our price for the B and B, and we would divide that by Y, which is the elephant token. All right, and that's going to equal the price I want to see. And the price I want to see is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 zeros there. I want to kill a zero. I want to times 10 from what we are right now, okay? And so what I'll be able to do, guys, is to create something called a system of equations. So there's going to be 2 equations graphed, and I'm going to look for the solution, which is where they meet, okay? Now, unfortunately, in our, at least in our US schools, you know, you'll learn about systems of equations, and they're actually really cool. You'll learn about them in like 7th grade, 8th grade, and then in 9th grade as well. And unfortunately, they're like, hey, you know, you sold 3 hot dogs and 2 sodas at the concession stand, and then the next day you sold 8 hot dogs and 4 sodas. You know, how much is each one? It's like, dude, like, what are we doing here? You know, like if we learned about this stuff in school, like, then that would have been something special. You know, like kids might actually pay attention and care. You know, it's like, ugh. What are we doing? All right, but yeah, guys, so ready? Boom. All right, so I'm going to turn that graph on, and I'm going to be able to find the combination, okay, that's going to equal this amount that also fits the combination that would be in the liquidity pool, okay, and that's the intersection of those 2 values. And I'm going to know now that if we reach this point in that liquidity pool, we have 10x'd, okay? Our elephant token that was 10 cents per million would now be worth $1 per million. And that's going to be right there, okay? So what we'll do, guys, is let's try to interpret what this ordered pair or this point is telling us, all right? So here we go. So here's our 10x value for our BNB liquidity pool, okay? So we're here currently, and we have to get down to here, okay? So what that means, guys, is we have to have that 131,600 BNB in the liquidity pool, and 3.711 times 10 to the 13th power. All right, now guys, this is a big number. So 13th power means we move this over 13 places to the right. We make it big. So counting this first digit, that's a 14-digit number. All right, so that's tens of trillions. Okay, so that's 37 trillion tokens. So if we can get this down to 37 trillion from the 117 trillion, we will have our 10x, okay? And what I've done here, guys, is our 10x is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 zeros. That's what we were looking for, to kill a zero. So we're just going to check our work. and verify mathematically that, like, this is actually legit stuff. I'm not just like throwing stuff out there and be like, don't ask questions. No, let's understand this stuff, right? All right, so guys, again, so how do I get that price per token? All right, BNB pooled. Okay, here's my BNB now on this new value that I found, this new pair, ordered pair. Here's that price I was still using for the BNB. That gives me the, the total value that's in the liquidity pool right there for the BNB. Okay, and then of course the elephant's going to be equal to that. And we're going to do price per, and then I'm just going to divide by the number of elephant tokens. And notice, guys, that it's given me this number in scientific notation. Okay, and I would move this over 6 places to the left because it's a small number. And notice how it's going to scoot by this 1, which means it's going to create, after that 1, 5 zeros in front of it. Okay, and that's what this is going to be worth right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 zeros. We have killed a 0. We are 10x from our value. And if I convert that to millions of elephant tokens, so multiply by 1 million. 1 million is 1 with 6 zeros after it. We have that $1 per million elephant. Okay, so awesome. So that's a 10x. Okay, it is right here. So we've kind of checked mathematically that that point checks out. Okay, now, like, how do we get there? All right, so what do we have to do? Okay, well, we have to go from this amount of BNB. We got to put some in, right? And we have to come up to this amount of BNB. Okay, so I'm like, all right, we need this amount of BNB. We already have this amount of BNB. All right, a little subtraction action, and about 90,000 BNB is going to have to be put into this liquidity pool in order to get down to that pair. Okay, on our curve. Okay, and if I took that BNB and just multiplied by that value, that price that we were using, that 282, we're looking at about $25 million of capital that would be injected into that pool to get us there. Okay. Now, if we did that, people are going to be having a field day on us, because they're going to be arbitraging like crazy, and then they're going to be picking off a value from our protocol because we can't leave the other liquidity pool behind. Okay, so that's how we get this one up to snuff, but we're going lockstep. We're making sure, guys, that we're always getting the best deal from either pool as we're traveling, locking in that long-term value. This is what BT was talking about in that first quote, where we're attacking this parabola differently. We're just like methodically, just optimizing everything as we move up. It's good. Long-term stability, guys, long-term strength. Okay. All right. So, okay. So what do we have to do to get really a 10x? Because, if we just throw 25 million in here, okay, we're leaving the other liquidity pool behind. So we got to also invest in that liquidity pool as well. Okay, so guys, I got my BUSD liquidity pool up here for our constant product formula. Okay, so what I did there was I took our 8.6 million times our 85.8 trillion elephant token to get our K, which is just our constant in the constant product formula. And then I graphed it. So all the pairs of numbers that multiply to this will be shown on my blue curve. And currently right now, we're sitting at this one right here. Okay, so this is where we are currently on this constant product formula curve. All right. Now, just as a reminder, guys, the price of BUSD is $1. Okay, so that's a stable coin. And what we're looking to do, guys, for our 10x, all right, is right now we're at 10 cents, or we have our 6 zeros in front of our 1 there. And what do we have to do to 10x on this liquidity pool? Okay, So when 10x, man. Okay, so here's what we have to do. All right, we have to get our value to just 5 zeros. Okay, so times 10 will knock off a 0 there. All right, now as a reminder, guys, from our previous activity, we were just doing this time BUSD divided by elephant. All right, there was no need to like multiply the BUSD by the $1 value. All right, it's not going to change anything. And that would result in our price per elephant. Okay, so now we want to know, guys, the BUSD and the elephant that makes this particular price happen. This is what we're looking for. Okay, is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 zeros in front of that 1. A 0 has been killed. All right, that's a times 10, guys. All right, so I'm going to turn my equation on and I'm going to look to see where that intersection is. All right, and that's the point, okay, where we are now going to 10x our BUSD liquidity pool. All right, so it's that point right there on the constant product curve. All right, so let's interpret that point and see what this means. Okay, so whoop. All right, so our BUSD elephant LP. Okay, so here's the point we have to arrive to for that 10x. All right, so to interpret this, guys, 10 to the 7th power here means we got to move that decimal over 7 places, okay, to the right, because this is a big number, so we got to move it to the right, okay? So this 2 is already there, so that's going to be an 8-digit number, okay? And then right here, guys, we have 13th power again, so we'll move it over. So this first digit here is going to bring it up to a 14-digit number, so that's tens of trillions again. So we have to get this down to about 27 trillion elephant token from its 85 trillion mark right now, okay? So here's what we need to do, guys. So that 8-digit number is 27 million, okay? So to 10x, we have to have 27 million BUSD sitting in this pool, and we're going to have our 27 trillion elephant tokens that are going to be worth that amount. Price per token, price per elephant, so elephant on the bottom, denominator divided up, guys, and here we go. This is our price that we get. Okay, move it over 6 to the left, past the 1, and 5 more. So 5 zeros, we have killed that 6 0. That is a times 10 right there. Okay, check. And we would be at $1 per million elephant token. Okay, so right where we need to be with that other liquidity pool at $1 per million elephant. Okay, because we want to keep these equal as we go up. All right, so we are always getting the best bang for the buck, and we're keeping that value in the protocol, just building strength. Like it's going to be rock solid, guys. This is really cool. Okay, all right, so how much money do we need, right? Okay, so we got to get to 27 million. All right, right now we got about 8.6 million. So we're going to have to inject about $18.5 million into this liquidity pool and pull out all those elephant tokens. All right, so hey, I put that little ×1 in there just for giggles. Okay, but this is a that's that stable coin. So we're going to actually need, 18,571,000 dollars. Okay, this is going to get us our 10x, guys. Okay, so we're going to put it together. All right, so we're putting it all together, guys. All right, so we had our BNB liquidity pool. Okay, we have our BUSD liquidity pool. All right, we figured out that we're going to need to put in, okay, about $25 million into this one. And we're going to have to put in about $18.5 million into this one. And if we add that together, guys, we're looking at probably a total of like $44 million in capital. Okay, Now BT was like at 180 million, that's chump change, right? What does he think about 44 million, right? So he's like, hey, with our current community and how we're progressing, we're not going to have to add or onboard. We'll do our, teach one. Everybody was going to teach one person, bring them in. But our organic growth of what we're doing right now, that's why he said we could easily be $1 billion centralized, decentralized, bank. Because all we have to do is 10x, and our market cap goes up to $1 billion. Okay, and so we need $44 million. All right. Now, this is what's really cool about this. Check this out. I was just kind of like playing around with this in my head. I was like, all right, what amount do we have right now? Okay. So if you kind of look at it, guys, so it's about like 23.5 million in total liquidity. This one's about a little more than 17 million. So we're looking at, we got like 40.5 to like $41 million in liquidity right now. Okay. So half of that's Elephant, half of that is the BNB/BUSD. Okay. So when it comes, so I was like thinking about this right here, right? So if I took the BNB times the BNB price, all right, got the dollar amount for that, and then add the dollar amount of the BUSD, we have like that, half of that, like 40 million. All right, we have $20 million currently there. And notice how we have to just put in 44 million more dollars. So we only have to really, I was thinking about this currently, if we just put in 2 times the amount we have here. So if we multiply this by 2 and then put in that much of our BNB and BUSD, we get a times 10 in the elephant value. Again, supply shock, supply squeeze, moving down that constant product formula curve is going to just make your elephant token value so much stronger compared to these other currencies. Okay, so we only have to put in times 2 the amount that's already there, and we get times 10 in elephant token return. Huge, guys. All right, parabola. All right, 10x. All right, so BT's dropping this like, we need about 180 million to get a 100x return. What the heck? That's insane, right? When 100x, guys, come on. Okay, so let's consult the graphs again. Okay, so let's take a look at our BNB liquidity pool. All right, this 10x. Okay, let's get it out of here, declutter. All right, 100x. Okay, now guys, to get a 100x, it's not much different. All right, instead of killing 1 0, we kill 2 zeros. All right, 10 times 10 is 100. Okay, so we just need a 10x and then a 10x from there. Okay, so a 100x. Okay, so how do we get there, guys? So we just need 1, 2, 3, 4. So 100 times, I had a 10x, 100 times the value of elephant. Okay, which means, guys, instead of 6 zeros, we want to go down to 4 zeros. All right, and we're going to do the same exact procedure that we always did. We did the BNB times the price to get the value of it in USD divided by elephant. So we want that same BNB times the price divided by elephant, price per elephant. But this time we want the answer to come out to be our decimal number where we have only 4 zeros. Okay, so let's take a look. Where does that happen? All right, there's my line. It's like way out here somewhere. Ready? Here we go. So it's right there. All right, so if we look at it, we need to hit this ordered pair right here to meet up with our constant product formula curve to be able to get a 100x return on our elephant token. So this is where the BNB liquidity pool needs to land. Okay, is this point right here. All right, so let's interpret this point. Okay, so our 100x. Okay, so my little picture here is zoomed way out here. Okay, and we need roughly 416,000 BNB in our liquidity pool. All right, and that's going to bring our elephant tokens down 13. So that's a 14-digit number. So this is tens of trillions. So that's going to be about 11.7 trillion tokens. Okay, so the tokens are starting to dry up in the liquidity pools. Okay, so now the long-term holders are holding on, and Bertha's scooping up, Elephant Treasury scooping up more and more of those tokens. And that's really pushing that our ordered pair down the curve, constant buy pressure, okay, from Bertha, a huge whale in the system. All right, so guys, let's check to make sure this point is legit. Okay, so we're looking for our 4 zeros. Okay, right now, today's price, we have 6 zeros. So we're killing 2 zeros. That's a times 100. And if we land on this point here, guys, we have our 416,000 BNB times the price of BNB, price per elephant, divide by elephant. Okay, now notice here, guys, what I did was I zoomed in a little bit extra to get a little bit more of an accurate answer. Okay, because you notice sometimes on our Desmos graph, they only go out to 3 decimal places. So if you zoom in, you can get like more decimals. So I did that in order to really make sure that our answer was a little more accurate. And notice, guys, that boom, we hit that 1.0000. Now, guys, we have 10 to the negative 5th power here. So this is a small number. We move this decimal over 5 places to the left to make it a teeny tiny number. So it skips over the 1, and it's got 4 more to go. So 4 zeros. Okay, so we're at that 4-0 mark where we killed 2 of those zeros. Awesome. Okay, and guys, if we want to talk per million elephants, okay, so times 10 to the 6th power there. All right, we are going to have 1.000 and change. So we have $1. Okay, $1. Oh, sorry, not $1. We have $10 per million elephant. Okay. Yes, sorry, right there. Okay, $10 per million elephant. All right, cha-ching. Okay. And that, guys, is, if you think about it, we're at 100 million market cap, and then a times 10 brings us to $1 billion market cap, and then times 100, right? So that's another times 10. So that's a $10 billion market cap, so pretty good, moving up the ranks, and moving up the ranks. Okay. All right, so how much BNB do we need to get there? Okay, so right now we got this 41,000. All right, now we have to get all the way up to that 416,000 mark. Okay, so subtract to find that difference. All right, so we're going to need to put in 374.5 thousand BNB roughly. Okay, multiply that by the price of that to get the USD dollar value. And we're talking 105.5 or $105.6 million. Okay, so $105,598,739.70. Okay, all right. Ooh, hundreds of millions that have to go in here. Okay, and remember, guys, other liquidity pool too. Okay, so we got not ignore our BUSD liquidity pool. Okay, so let's jump on over to our little friend, the BUSD pair. Okay, and what are we doing? All right, so we don't want 10x anymore. Okay, what do we want? We want 100x. Okay, so remember, guys, we want that price where we have the 4 zeros in front of that 1, so that 100x. And we want our price per token, so price divided by token, and we want it to equal that number. Okay, so we don't know the BUSD and elephant that's going to get us there, All right. However, we do have the value, okay, that we want for our price. All right. And so we'll be able to find all the pairs of numbers that divide to give us this. Okay. And what we'll then do is figure out where it's going to match up with our graph. Okay. Now I can go into the settings and adjust the view and everything, but I'm going to be a little bit of a hacker and just kind of scroll out and move over and find it. Okay. Here it is. Okay. Okay, so guys, we have this point right here, and it's going to be matching up, okay, matching up with our curve. And let's interpret that point for our 100x. All right, what do we got? Okay. All right, so these numbers right here. Okay, so this is times 10 to the 7th power, all right, big number because it's a positive exponent. Move it over the decimal 7 places. So this is going to be an 8-digit number. All right, so this is talking about tens of millions of dollars. All right, so we're talking $85.9 million in BUSD that we need to have sitting in this pool. All right, and that's going to bring us down, guys, to this amount of elephants, okay? 12 power, so we're going to move it over 12 places, so including this one, that's a 13-digit number. All right, so that's going to be in just the single trillions. All right, so that's like about 8.5, 8.6 trillion tokens, all the way down from our kind of like 85 trillion mark that we're at now. All right, and if we do, guys, the math just to check to make sure that that point is legit and makes sense. We want our price to be 4 zeros. So BUSD, okay, which is this amount right here, divided by this amount right here. And again, guys, I scrolled in a little bit more to get a little bit more of a precise answer. So instead of 3 decimal places, I wanted to get 4 decimal places. And it came out right on the button, right out the nose, that it was exactly 0.00001 cent per elephant token. All right. And if we do that times a million again, we're looking at, again, $10 per million. Okay, so that would bring our liquidity pools like into balance. Both of them would be 100x'd. Okay, so here, guys, so we need that roughly $86 million in BUSD. All right, we can subtract what's already there. All right, so hey, times 1 again. Okay, remember, stablecoin, it's worth $1. And we have our $77.3 million more that we would have to put in to this liquidity pool. All right, and then that would 100x our value. All right, so BT said about 180 million. All right, obviously he was probably rounding it, you know, to the nearest, say maybe 10 million. I don't know. Or he might have even used a little bit of a different BNB value, but it seems that, you know, the maestro himself, yes, that was actually very close to what we were able to get with our mathematical projection right here. So if we take a look, we'll kind of see how it is very close to that 180 million mark. Okay, so in our BNB liquidity pool, guys, we would need another 374,000 BNB, okay, multiplied by the price. Okay, that was our 105 million that we needed. All right, and then we just discussed that we needed 77 million of the BUSD. And if we add that together, okay, our projection comes out to be about 183 million. So 183 million. So very close to that 180 million mark that he was talking about. You know, so he could have rounded a little bit, and then also, you know, our price for the BNB might have been a little different because we looked at it different times during the day, but pretty much kind of like where you know, BT was thinking that we would roughly need to be. Okay, and this guy's got it all figured out. But yeah, so awesome, right? So 183 million. All right, now check this out, guys. This is going to put us farther down that constant product formula curve. All right, which means that we have more and more strength. Okay, the more we move down, the more dominant the elephant token is. Okay, so we're going to take a look at this. Check this out. So it's just thinking, all right, right now, we had that 20-ish million worth of value worth of BNB and BUSD right now in our protocol. And if we put in a 180 million, that's 9 times the amount of money that's in there right now, right? So currently, if we 9x or 9 times the amount of USD value, we get 100 times the amount of elephant value. Okay, so we had to do like a ×2 to get a ×10, which is awesome. That's like 5 times, that amount there. But now a ×9, and notice how it's like the gap is even widening even more. Okay, so as we progress down this constant product formula curve, guys, we're just going to start getting and accumulating enormous amounts of wealth and enormous amounts of economic power. And that's what BT is kind of talking about in that quote, where it's like we're changing economics as we know it. The power of mathematics, especially when you think of how many elephant tokens there are. There can be a time where it's like we're getting down to like such small amounts. Like you have like an entire scaled up economic engine that could provide a universal basic income for very, very vast amounts of people. It's really quite amazing. So we're definitely building something as a community special, and it's really an honor to be a part of it. So all right, guys, that's it for the lesson today. I'd like to thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, and comment. I'd love to see the comments and read the comments. And I hope you found this video helpful, and if it was valuable. I'm trying to just make sure that people feel more confident and comfortable, talking about the protocol, understanding the protocol. And maybe even some of these resources could help you recruit people to experience kind of the awesome opportunity that we have here in the elephant.money system. All right, so I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep making more videos, guys. I'll be back with another watering hole next Saturday. I got the plague. I had to skip one, and sorry about that. And I hadn't posted a video in a few days. I was actually on a little pilgrimage, as you will. I was meeting my Jedi master. We were talking, Mr. Mike Dre was really schooling me on some of the economics or tokenomics of the system. I'm diving in really deep, guys, to give you more like awesome videos. All right, so thanks, you guys. I appreciate all the support. Check out all of our other content creators out there. So SK Crypto K. Check out Crypto Questions, Into Crypto, and Muddy Mo. All right, check out all those guys. Check out Medium for our elephant.money articles. All right, thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Have a nice day.